Hello everyone and welcome back to Real Talk. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Neha. I know, not
Special
your usual
guest.
person.
Guys, it's Med in Drag. Today we are going to be talking about Russell Brand.
He needs to be
name?
like unbranded.
Obviously he's like a bit before our time, but like
Yeah.
I can't remember the first thing I ever saw him on. It was probably something like Mock the Week, Big Fat Quiz of the Year,
sure.
like Never Mind the Buzzcocks.
Yeah, Never Mind the Buzzcocks.
The music one.
Yeah,
I feel like he would have been on that at some point. Like
for sure.
one of those like early English.
Yeah, Have I Got News for You?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that vibe.
Imagine him on Have I Got News for You. But that was probably like my intro to him. Like, do you remember what yours was?
Yeah, I feel like it was the same vibe. It was like BBC shows, comedy shows, After Watershed. I think he was in a lot of like wacky shows, like Midnight Beast, like that kind of era. Do you know what I mean? Like he came out of that era of just like kind of like emo vibes, quite gothic, kind of leaning into that like British.
He was quite like camp. Like
he was
like,
exactly.
He had like a very troubled childhood, working class background, like grew up with basically a single mum in Essex. Moved out really young after like a disagreement, I think, with like his stepdad or something. I think used that to channel into a lot of his comedy.
Yeah, for sure. And I think at the time people probably would have said like it was a breath of fresh air. Like it was like this new world thing, as you said. And it's kind of crazy to see how that's changed now.
Let me really quickly run us through the allegations because I feel like there's a lot. So, okay. It was a few weeks back, I'm pretty sure. He was officially charged with 5 sexual offences involving 4 women that were allegedly committed between 1999 and 2005. Since then, I think it was 2 days ago or even yesterday, I can't remember, that 3 more women came forward, or 5 more women?
3. There were 5 and now 3 more.
Yeah.
3 more, yeah. So 3 more women have also come forward to accuse him of assault. Yeah. So he's set to appear at Westminster Magistrates Court on May 2nd.
Very soon.
The charges follow a 13-month probe by the Times and Channel 4.
Yeah.
The police have received additional allegations and reported threats sent to their victim support channel. Russell has obviously denied all accusation and has maintained that his relationships were consensual. So he also then, after all these charges came out, he released a video.
I was a fool, man. I was a fool before I lived in the light of the Lord. I was a drug addict, a sex addict, and an imbecile. But what I never was a rapist. I've never engaged in non-consensual activity. I pray that you can see that by looking in my eyes.
He looks like a literal psychopath.
No, he does.
He's like, my children are playing over there. I was like, get them away! Someone called Childline.
Staring into your soul, like staring into the camera, like, look in my eyes, you must believe me. It's
literally.
like, bro, and it's like, he's like, yes, I'm a sexual deviant. It's like, that's what's so crazy to me is that to like try and justify the fact that it's not true. He's being like, I'm such a deviant and I'm so disgusting in the sack that like I could never do that. It's like, bro, please, like that's insane.
So 3 more women have come forward with more allegations, bringing the total number of accusers to 7. These new claims span incidents from 2003 to 2015, so even more recently, including allegations of rape, sexual assault, and emotional abuse. It's just sad because also I would just put money on the fact that irrespective of whether or not he's found guilty, I don't think he'll face any jail time.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, that's like kind of the pattern. People, isn't it? Like once you
or it'll be like 3 months.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
And he'll be loud due to overcrowding or some shit.
He said in an interview about Diddy, he was like, I can't say no to him. He was like, Diddy took me on like an enforced holiday to Vegas and like I can't say no to him. You don't want to say no to someone like Diddy because he's so influential. So it kind of just shows you that like all you need is some power. Yeah. And you can get away with 100%. Whatever you want.
It's kind of a difficult one because people like to use the whole wokeness thing and try and excuse men's behavior as like it was a different time. Like consensual sexual relations wasn't a thing and like yada yada yada. Like this isn't also a case of like someone doing something inappropriate in the workplace. Not to say that that isn't equally as not acceptable and like should be like that person should be held accountable. This is like multiple accusations of like forced rape
with
and like
young women.
Like this is like a man who very clearly used his power in order to
100%.
exploit young women for sexual pleasure. And it's like you really, really can't make an argument to like kind of sway that.
Yeah, it's so scary how he probably doesn't feel like he did anything wrong in those situations. And I feel like that's supported by the fact that he keeps talking about how he would never, like, it's all consensual, like he's done loads of fucked up stuff, but he would never like cross that line. I can't figure out whether this is just what he's saying, because obviously he knows what he did and he knows how he used to be in the past, so he's using that as like a, you know, way out. Or if he genuinely is so tapped in the head and like has been, you know, having like roughs with women for so long that he genuinely doesn't know the difference between consent and non-consent. Like,
given the things that he says and what he does and how he speaks about people and how he speaks about the state of the world, in my head he is delusional. I think men like that, do you know what, it's difficult because I don't want to feed into this idea that his background has anything to do with it, because I actually really don't think that it does. I think what it has to do with is becoming very famous and very powerful very quickly, getting a lot of like everyone wanting to please you and like people falling at your feet and like wanting to be in your circle and things like that. I think that creates a level of delusion where you do feel like you're untouchable and you feel as though you're doing, like, you're giving them something, you're doing them a favor. Like they got to like sleep with Russell Brand. Like how fucking lucky were they? For sure. And I think probably not only did he completely abuse that power in the first place, I think also be completely not understanding of just because someone might be saying yes at the beginning, if they say no, then that's a no. 100%. Like men still do, I think, like to this day, have an issue with this understanding of, but we started. And I think that he will have 100% built up this kind of like delusion around him.
For sure.
And then put that onto whoever he's like being intimate with.
I'm so curious to see like what his legal team, what their advice, like, because he's so set in what he thinks is right or wrong.
They will 100% angle it as this is a smear campaign because of his newfound religion and his political beliefs. They're going to be like, because Russell has come out in support of like certain conservative politicians, this is now the woke agenda and the crazy liberal left trying to bring him down.
I mean, that is like an effective PR
strategy.
It is. It's
an effective PR strategy, but it's a terrible legal defense.
So then, but that's what I mean. Like, what in the courtroom? Like, what are you gonna say, Russell? You're just gonna be like, well, duh. Like,
they'll try and completely assassinate the victims' characters.
100%.
And that's the thing that's the hardest about these types of cases. These women have to be so brave in order to come forward, because the likelihood is the defense team will just absolutely
go for the
rip
jugular.
their testimonies apart.
I
found some tweets that actually I feel like are really touching upon what we were saying earlier. So this
Charlie uses Twitter.
Twitter is so interesting.
No, I know. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love Twitter, but
like what opinions do you get off of Snapchat? Genuinely,
I get compliments. That's the only opinion I need.
I mean, so fair. Like, no one's complimented me on Twitter. Okay, someone said, Russell Brand is not a devout Christian. Russell Brand is pretending to be a devout Christian in a desperate attempt to gain support from influential Christians and escape a prison sentence.
Agreed.
It's actually pretty blatant, and anybody falling for it is a moron.
No, I actually fully agree with that.
I completely
because one
agree
thing
with
about
that.
Russell Brand is that like he is delusional and he's like crazy, but he's not stupid, right? Like he's not actually dumb. Like he understands that people are very, very malleable.
I think as well, like, I truly I'm not a religious person. I'm not like involved in anything like that. And to be honest, for the most part, I'm hyper cynical and critical of organized religion. Yeah. That being said, sometimes I feel a bit bad for Christians.
Poor Christian.
Poor like Christian. No, like obviously like only just because recently, like I do feel sometimes a bit bad. I mean, I feel bad for like anyone who like actually follows their faith and like isn't a crazy person. But like Christianity recently has been used as a scapegoat and used as like a way in which really terrible people use it as a shield in order to avoid accountability. Yeah. And that's not to say that there are a lot of Christians who are like very like homophobic and racist and like anti-immigration and like not great people, especially in America. Yeah. We could go on, I'm sure, for much longer about this gross, ugly, thin-haired man.
No, literally. If I see one more video of him smiling,
dude,
as if he was won the lottery,
he needs to get a Dyson Airwrap because that hair is so crusty. It's not okay. Well, that's all from us this week.
Yes, thanks.
Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Let us know if there's any other men that you want us to drag.
Yeah, we're always down.
We're here for it.
Yeah, we can keep Med away.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Bye.
Bye.